Hey everybody, I'm Al Parinello. I am the owner of Surflight Theater, the incredible Surflight Theater, the time-traditioned Surflight Theater, the theater where everything happens that you want to happen. This is the place. This is Surflight Theater. I'm very excited because this is the first video of this season that we're doing. And it's kind of funny because also it's our 5th year together, Steve and I. Steve, of course, the producing artistic director of Surflight Theater.
Hello.
The man, as I always say, makes all the miracles happen, makes them all take place. And I honestly don't know how he does it, but he does it. So what an amazing season this is. And it starts with 2 of the greatest shows ever on Broadway. I mean, the first show, which we're going to be talking about today, is Annie. Annie is, a show that had, I believe, I've got my notes in front of me, 3 awards. It was the most popular show ever on Broadway for 6 years that it ran. I love Annie, and we're going to talk all about it. So Steve, how's Annie shaping up?
Very, very well. We did a run through just yesterday. We've got a dress rehearsal today, and getting ready to launch.
Are we comfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about the chosen woman who plays Annie, the little girl.
Well, there's 2 of them. There's Annie Shea Caravella, who her real name is Annie, and then Eliana Gamble. We decided to cast 2 young ladies as Annie just because of what was going on with the pandemic. We wanted to make sure if anybody got sick, we could go forward. Of course, last year we did our entire season 100% COVID free, and we're looking to do that again this year, but that was just to be on the safe side. And they're both terrific. They're both extremely supportive of each other. They're good friends, and so it's sort of like every other show they're going to be doing. It's great.
I want to tell the audience a little bit about Annie, not the play, but Annie. What is Annie? Where did it come from? How did that happen? It turns out it started in 1885, believe it or not. It started as a poem. Little Orphan Annie by James Whitcomb O'Reilly. That's 135 years ago. And then ultimately it became a comic strip, and a very powerful, popular, gigantic comic strip. And then somebody said, this comic strip might be a great idea for a Broadway play.
And that somebody was Martin Charnin. Martin Charnin was actually in the original cast of West Side Story. He played Big Deal, so he was one of the Jets, and he put this thing together and got Tom Meehan to write an absolutely wonderful book. And Charles Strouse can't write a bad score, even when a show isn't very good. Like Nick and Nora. The score was fantastic. Everything he wrote was terrific. And he's still with us, by the way. He's in his 90s.
Oh my heavens.
Yeah.
That's great to know. That's great to know. So it opened, by the way, in 1977. And as I said, it ran for 6 years. It obviously it got the Tony nod for Best Musical. There was a young lady who starred as Annie, and her name was Andrea McCardle. Now, that's special for us here at Surflight because, tell the story, Steve.
Well, Andrea was with us in 2019 in Boynton Beach Club, which was a show that was very, very popular and successful here, and it was here as a Broadway tryout. And Andrea was terrific. Now, Andrea and I first met in 1984.
So another interesting point that I didn't know until I did the research was a young lady who was the second replacement for her was Sarah Jessica Parker.
That's right.
Wow, who knew that?
Oh, I did.
Yeah. I Surflight Theater. You know, this is a theater that's just so rich in history, so amazing. I mean, so many people who are on Broadway right now, or have been on Broadway, or who were stars, started right here in this, not in this building, but in the first building that was Surflight Theater. So it's always interesting to do the research and find all of these interesting things. I just finished reading a 700-page book about a legend in this industry, in the movie industry, and in the comedy industry. And that's a book that's written about the life of Mike Nichols. In fact,
sure.
the book is called A Life, Mike Nichols. Mike Nichols has something to do with Annie as well.
He sure did.
And this was, once again, I was blown away by this. Mike Nichols, for those of you who are older in our audience, you might remember Mike Nichols and Elaine May as this incredible comedy team who, you know, in the I guess it was the late 50s and 60s. And they would just be on the Ed Sullivan Show, but they did comedy not by telling jokes. This was comedy that was based on just thinking out loud. And performing without any material except what came to mind, improvisation. They were the improvisational experts of that era. Mike Nichols went on to become an amazing director in both movies and theater. Just some of the things, just to give you an idea. The Odd Couple was directed by Mike. Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? The Graduate, the movie The Graduate, the first date I took my wife on. The Graduate. Who didn't take their spouse to see The Graduate? You know, the Paul Simon music, the Simon and Garfunkel music. Carnal Knowledge, another one. He had 9 Tonys and 4 Emmys. Okay, now why am I talking about Mike Nichols? Because when Annie was beginning, when they were putting it all together, when they had experience with audiences that were before it opened, it wasn't getting great response. There was, you know, something wrong. Something was wrong, and they couldn't hit it because they do surveys and things like that to make sure this thing is running. So what did they do? They said, let's call Mike Nichols in. Now, he had all these advances, all these achievements thus far in his career, and a ton more after. So he was the magic pill. So they did. They called him in, and he immediately said, okay, this is what's wrong, that's what's wrong, this is what needs to be fixed. And Dorothy Loudon, he brought Dorothy Loudon in to replace the first actress as Miss
Hannigan.
Miss Hannigan. And suddenly, the results from these tests were like stellar. So he wasn't the director, he wasn't the producer, but he had to be something. And all he said was, I want a presents. I want to present it, that's all. And they said, very smart. If we could put Mike Nichols' name on the bill, that he's presenting this, suddenly the entire industry will wake up, and that's exactly what happened. So Mike Nichols presented this after just having, you know, a half a dozen meetings saying, I want you to replace this actress, and I want you to do this, and so on and so forth. And of course, it worked. Everyone started responding to this thing and took it home. So let's talk about some of the songs from Andy.
Well, obviously the big hit is Tomorrow.
Well, no, tell me now. The audience wants to hear this now.
Turn it off. Yes, Tomorrow, let's see, Maybe is a beautiful, beautiful song that Annie sings at the beginning of the show.
The Hard Knock Life.
Hard Knock Life, big number for the orphans.
What's that Herbert Hoover thing?
It's called Hooverville. And it's about how the people living in a Hooverville in New York, which is where homeless sort of gathered together to try to, you know, help support each other. There were a lot of Hoovervilles all over New York and in other places in the country, and they were called that because they blamed the depression on Herbert Hoover, and the song really pretty much blames Herbert Hoover for destroying their lives.
Wow. Can you imagine being Herbert Hoover back then? Wow, that's interesting. Like a little political.
Well, interesting, because the show opened 45 years after Herbert Hoover left office. Now it's quite a bit longer than that. It's
Right.
45 more years. It's 90 years. Yeah, it's.
Wow. And I have one of his vacuum cleaners.
I'm sure you do.
Thank you. So anyway, the first show is Annie, and it is an amazing show, and you've got to see this show. And I know you're going to buy tickets already because it's happening. The box office is shaking from the ticket sales. So come see this thing. If you want to know how to do it, you just go to our webpage. Very simple. It's surflight.org, and you can order tickets right there. Or you can call us at area code 609-492-9477. And by the way, that is one heck of a start for the season. I'm not even going to get into this. You'll have to wait for the next video. For the next video, our next show is going to be Chorus Line, a chorus line. Once again, Annie, 6 years, Chorus Line, 15 years on Broadway.
That's right.
We have a stellar season for you here at Surflight Theater. Now, what about, while we're talking about things, we also have a salute to the great woman of country.
Yeah, that's right. Ramblin' Rose. Three great women and a couple of other musicians are coming to do the concert on July 5th. And that's going to be at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. And it's terrific music from the legendary country singers like, back Loretta Lynn and back in of course, Dolly Parton. And
Herbert Hoover.
And his vacuum cleaner.
Bobby Darin.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Bobby Darin?
Ron Gartner's been doing this concert for a number of years, and we've talked about him coming for a number of years. Finally, we're able to line up dates, so he's going to be here. I think it's the 12th of July.
July, yes.
Yes, again, 5:30 and 8.
And coming up on August 2nd, we've got an ABBA tribute.
That's right. They've been here before. They were here, I think it was Memorial Day, maybe 3 years ago, I think. And they sold out 2 performances, so we're glad to have them back as well.
Beautiful. So, once again, I'll give you the number once again. It's 609-492-9477 or surflight.org. Before we go, we have to say thank you to one heck of a guy. And that's our friend Nino Di Pascal. Nino runs and owns Reel Original Productions. Reel, R-E-E-L. He's the guy behind the camera. We're staring at his beautiful face right now. And he's quite a beautiful man. And he does these videos because he's the most generous human being on the face of the earth, and he's an expert at what he does. So you look at the screen and you'll see Reel Original Productions. And his number is 609-220-5341. Hey, this has been fun. This is a great start. Oh,
I just thought of one other thing to say. July 26th, comedy night. Almost sold out already. We might have to add a second
These comedy shows are going
they're going
bonkers,
crazy.
aren't
Yeah, they
I
are.
love it. So it's a lot going on, folks. We hope to see you here at Surflight Theater. Be as proud as we are. Be as happy as we are. Have yourself a great week, day, night, whatever you're doing.